Why are there so many spin-offs nowadays? I do not like the ending of TV shows. There are so many TV shows where I have never seen the final episode because often the endings are not as satisfying as they need to be. You know who also does not like the ending of TV shows? The people making TV shows, because they keep finding ways to continue the story for no reason. I mean, there is a reason. That reason is money, but you get my point. Now that they can't have TV shows last for like 10 seasons, they are just making new shows using already existing IPs to milk the nostalgia of a TV show that an audience has an unhealthy attachment to by making a spin-off series. A spin-off is a show set in the same universe as a previously successful show or movie. The spin-off might follow a side character from the original show, or it might follow a completely different set of characters within that universe. If a spin-off focuses on a character from the original show and or movie, the spin-offs might showcase the backstory of that character so the audience can understand how they came to be the way they are in the original. There is the term sidequel, which is a sequel spin-off set in the same time as the original, but not all spin-offs are successful and are a hit with previously established audiences. So we are going to be discussing both good and bad shows that were intended to continue the story of initially successful shows. The first spin-off show we are going to talk about is Planet Sheen. This is a spin-off of The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, which is one of Nickelodeon's most well-known shows, after Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, and of course their most successful show, SpongeBob. The show was about this boy called Jimmy who was a genius and liked to invent things. Often these inventions led to Jimmy getting himself or the town he lives in into trouble. So he and his friends Carl, Sheen, and sometimes alongside his frenemies Cindy and Libby have to fix whatever Jimmy's messed up before they get caught. And he has a cute robot dog. The franchise started with a film 2002 called Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius that was very successful. The show Jimmy Neutron ran for 3 seasons with 61 episodes that aired from 2002 to 2006. It also had 3 very famous crossovers called Jimmy Timmy Power Hour with the show Fairly Odd Parents, which were very well received. Jimmy was also one of the crucial characters in the popular video game franchise Nicktoons Unite. Planet Sheen was a spin-off of Jimmy Neutron, as I've mentioned. It starts with Sheen sneaking into Jimmy's lab and he presses a button that says do not press. Can't really blame him for that.
Sheen, do not push this button.
I'd probably press it too. That button is to a spaceship that shoots him into outer space, and then he eventually crash lands on the planet Xenu. Everyone on this planet is stupid. So stupid in fact, they end up thinking Sheen, the dumbest person in Jimmy Neutron, is a genius, and the emperor of the planet appoints Sheen as his advisor and fires his old one, Dorcas. Dorcas, so enraged by the firing, turns evil and vows to destroy Sheen. Oh, and Sheen also destroyed his house, so that probably added to the hatred. Throughout the rest of the show, Sheen is trying to fix the rocket so he can get home, whilst causing mayhem for this talking ape and Dorcas, who tries to eliminate him. The show was meant to star Carl as well, but he was cut and replaced with Slime Carl.
Until someone breaks a tongue. Shake it!
We never see Sheen get home, so he might be stuck there forever. Who knows? There are many reasons I think this show failed. The first being how this is a Jimmy Neutron spin-off, and it is not in the same city, state, or planet. It has very little connection to the original show. Plus, none of the other characters appear in this show. He barely even thinks about Earth whilst on this alien planet far away from home. The only person he really cares about is his grandmother. The main reason this show does not feel like a Jimmy Neutron spin-off is that it was not created to be one. The original creator of the show wrote a unique show with a different main character, but Nickelodeon did not want that show, so they put Sheen in it to get the show made. One of the core problems of this show is that it has no point. It does not explain any bigger portion of Sheen's backstory, nor does it add anything to his character. I saw people try and compare it to the Patrick Star Show, saying they made another show out of a sidekick. That didn't work. At least the Patrick Star Show added to the character of Patrick. It shows how his and SpongeBob bond grew to what it is today in the main show, and the characters are at least somewhat memorable. I have to Google the characters' names to remember what they're called. Another reason this show probably failed is the change of channel. It started on Nickelodeon for the first 11 episodes from 2010 to 2011. Then it switched to Nicktoons for the next 15 episodes from 2012 to 2013.
You are watching Planet Sheensy.
Okay, it's not called Planet Sheensy.
The next show with a spin-off series I want to talk about is a spin-off of Totally Spies. Yeah, I talk about this show a lot, but oh well. Totally Spies is a show about the 3 teenage girls, Sam, Clover, and Alex. They are secret international spies that save the world from the most insane people ever. Instead of taking over the world, go to a fairy therapy. But be careful of the therapist you choose, because this therapist went crazy because people kept complaining to him like that was his job, which it was. The girls work for a secret organization called Root, run by this old menace called Jerry. The whole show is just these girls trying to balance their normal lives with their spy lives. The show ran for 6 seasons between 2001 and 2013 with 182 episodes. They needed to check the water supply because how do you have 182 episodes worth of crazy people? Yeah, some of them are repeats. This was mostly individual people trying to take over or destroy the world. It also had a movie in 2009 which shows the origin of these girls becoming spies. I did a video on that. It's just this middle-aged man blackmailing them into being spies. And as of this year, it had a revival to continue the story of the Totally Spies in new season 7. So it's over 20 years of this show. So it having a spin-off is not that shocking. The spin-off series is called The Mason Spies, which started in 2009, and it was set in a time between season 5 and season 6 of Totally Spies when the girls were at university. It is about these 4 siblings being group agents whilst trying to live a normal life. It lasted 2 seasons with 52 episodes and ended in 2012. You might think that was a pretty short description of the show. Well, that is because nothing else happened in that show at all. The most interesting thing to happen in the show was when the Totally Spies would show up for cameos, and that is why I think the show failed. It never got out of the shadow of its predecessor. Anyone who did watch this show would realise it was just Totally Spies with more annoying main characters and a knockoff Mandy. The best part of this show, it had a slightly more unique art style based on comic books, which was different from the other shows made by the same company such as Martin Mystery and Team Galaxy. I did make a full video on the show if you want to watch it to find out how much they missed the mark on making a Totally Spies spin-off.
This is the Ridonculous Race.
The next spin-off show is Total Drama The Ridonculous Race, which is a spin-off show of Total Drama Island. Total Drama Island is a fictional reality show which follows this group of teens competing to be the final contestant. The contestants are referred to as campers. The campers are put into 2 teams and pitted against one another in insanely dangerous challenges. The team that loses has to vote out one of their own teammates until only one remains. The first season started in 2007 with 26 episodes. After this, they had Total Drama World Tour, which was the 3rd season of the show with 15 returning contestants from the original show and 3 new ones. The 4th season is called Revenge of the Island, which is all new contestants. Season 5 is Total Drama All-Star, consisting of 14 contestants from the previous season. And after 6 seasons and 145 episodes, the initial run of Total Drama Island stopped in 2014. They recently had a revival in 2023 with all new campers, which I have been enjoying. With 6 seasons of success, it's not surprising they made a spin-off series. In fact, it has another spin-off series called Total Drama Rama, which was the second spin-off of the original Total Drama Island contestants in toddler form. The spin-off we are talking about today is Total Drama Island Presents The Ridonculous Race, which came out in 2016. This was a race instead of Survivor type show like the previous ones. The contestants are in pairs of 2. Each episode is set in a different country and the team must race to the finish line. The last one there will be eliminated. This show has a new host called Don, who is not the most intelligent fellow, but at least he's not actively trying to cause severe harm to teenagers for his own amusement like some people. This show had mainly new contestants. It did have all contestants from the original show, but it was mainly new people. Whilst this show only had 1 season due to low ratings, a lot of people consider this the best version of Total Drama Island, or at least in the top 3. This show had multiple good reviews on places like IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes. So why was it not successful? There are multiple reasons this fan favourite was not as popular as the original. One of the reasons is the show initially aired on the Cartoon Network app, which I did not know existed, so watching the show would already have low ratings. The show came out 2 years after the last season of Total Drama Island and had little promotion, so many of the fans did not know it existed. I didn't even know it existed until I saw clips of it on TikTok. This show also came out after season 6, which was not viewed favourably among fans, so most thought it would be a continuation of that type of quality, so a lot of people just didn't watch it. The people that did watch it considered Ridonculous Race a breath of fresh air to the Total Drama franchise and was sad that it got cancelled. Finally, we have Duck Dodgers, which is a spin-off of one of the most well-known cartoon franchises, Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes has been going since 1930 with a lot of iconic characters like Bugs Bunny, Lola Bunny, Sylvester, Foghorn, Leghorn, Wiley Code, Roadrunner, and many more. One of the most recognisable characters is Daffy Duck, who is playing a key role in most modern reboots and remakes of Looney Tunes, so it's not surprising they made a spin-off show featuring the character. Duck Dodgers was actually a spin-off of the short film Duck Dodgers in the 24th century, which came out in 1953, and in 2003 they decided to make a series based on it over 50 years later. The original short film was about Duck Dodgers searching for a rare Eludium fosset on planet X. Throughout the short, we see a bunch of futuristic technology like teleporters, rocket ships, and other things. Duck Dodgers is not alone on the mission to find planet X. He is accompanied by his pig space cadet, who is very underappreciated.
Following those planets, we can't very well miss Planet X. We follow those planets, we'll find Planet X. Cat, how do I do it?
They get to Planet X and run into Marvin the Martian, and they fight. Then 50 years later, they brought back the character. In the 2003 show, it gives more backstory to the character. We find out Duck Dodgers was accidentally frozen for over 3 centuries, and when he was defrosted, he managed to convince everyone he was a 21st century hero, but that was not the case. He then is given the title of captain and sent on missions with his space cadet, and usually succeeds these missions through pure luck and coincidence. This show was well loved and lasted 3 seasons with 39 episodes and gained critical acclaim with Annie and Emmy nominations. This is an example of making a spin-off of a less intelligent side character done right. Daffy becomes Duck Dodgers and is fully immersed in the world and does not stick out like a sore thumb in his own show. Saying that, the character of Duck Dodgers still has the key characteristic of Daffy Duck, a short-tempered loudmouth who does not think before doing things. It also introduces us to the iconic characters like the Martian Queen and expands on the motivations of Marvin the Martian and Dr. IQ. Also, several of the characters from Looney Tunes appear in the show, but they never overtook from Duck Dodgers. Overall, the spin-off added to the world of Duck Dodgers and expanded the character, making a place of its own outside of the short and the world of Looney Tunes. Plus, it had one of the most memorable theme songs ever. There are multitudes of ways
Duck Dodgers of the 24th and 1/2 century.
you can deem if a spin-off is successful. The most obvious way would be how many seasons it got. That means it had high enough ratings to keep getting renewed. Another way is, do both the new fans to the franchise and the old ones of the original both like it? There are many spin-offs that were successful with new fans, but fans of the original movie or TV show would never watch them. I think a spin-off being able to successfully bring together those two groups of fans is the mark of successful spin-off. Do you agree? What's your favourite spin-off? And that will be all. Goodbye.